Hello again, I'm Katie. So earlier we made a cooking video which was a whole lesson. It was about 15 minutes long, so I thought I would summarise what was in that video in a much shorter video, hopefully shorter. So some ideas on a sensory, choice making and self-help cookery lesson. So first of all, we need to wash hands. So that helps to warm the hands up. The massaging helps to get the circulation going. It helps to let the brain know that we want to use the hands. So that's why we wash hands first, obviously, as well as the germs. Secondly, it says to preheat the oven. So you can just do that. And then the baking paper. So if we're lining a baking tray, the paper is our first really good sensory experience. Can you hear that? It feels nice as it's smooth on one side. The crunchiness is brilliant. So tracking is important. So that just means following a sound or a sight. So we're going to first of all use the paper to do some tracking to hear the sound. So we're going to start one side. You're going to scrunch the paper, and your child needs to follow with their eyes and maybe turn their heads. They need to follow where that sound is going. And they go all the way from one side to the other. Can they go back the other way? And then you can give them the paper for them to feel, to explore. Maybe they can use their talker so they can tell you how it feels. Does it feel rough? Is it smooth? Is it a sound that they like? Is it a sound they don't like? Is it noisy? Is it quiet? Okay. So that's our first one. Next is choice making. So making biscuits, we need to cream, butter and sugar. So it doesn't matter if the butter goes into the bowl first or if the sugar goes in. So the first choice is what we're going to use first. So I've used clear bowls. I've got butter in one, I've got sugar in the other. So I'm going to hold them apart so that it's easy for the child to see the difference. I'm going to tell them there's butter or sugar and ask them to choose which one. So either they might reach out for the one they want, they might look at the one they want, they might be able to use their talker and say butter please or whatever. Okay, so we can hear the sugar. The butter, when you put it in, it makes a really nice plopping noise. Let's see if you can hear it. Did you hear that? Okay, so once they've made their choice, you need to acknowledge the choice. Well done, you chose the butter. Butter. So we're going to dollop the butter on their tray. Did you hear that? So they can then feel the butter. You can feel that it's cold. You can feel that it's soft. So it's going to let them explore that while you're putting or measuring out the butter to go in the bowl. Then we're going to use the sugar. So we're going to pour the sugar. Can you hear that? They could taste the sugar if they're able to eat food through their mouth. So we're going to use the sugar. We're going to say that it's white or brown, whatever colour sugar you're using. Because they can hear it being poured, they can feel it, they can taste it. Okay, and then so then we're going to do the self-help skills. So we've done some choice making, we've done some sensory work, we've done some tracking. So the next bit is the self-help. So we're going to be wanting them to hold the spoon. So depending on your child, maybe you want them to hold the spoon and not let go for 10 seconds or 5 seconds. Maybe you want them to hold the spoon and use it, so give it a stir. Maybe your child is now learning to use a spoon with one hand and hold the bowl with the other. So we want them to grip the bowl and the spoon to use it. We want them to be able to use two hands. Maybe your child is learning to move a spoon to their mouth. So with the butter and sugar in the bowl, that's quite a nice taste. It's not too. It's more of a reward than it wouldn't be. So anyway, so you're going to load the spoon up for them to wherever you want them to start from. Can they get it into their mouth? Obviously we wouldn't do that with a bowl of flour, because if they've taken it to their mouth and they've achieved that target, we want them to be rewarded for it. We don't want them to be, we don't want them to feel it's a negative. Sorry about that. So where do we get to? We're spoon feeding, excellent. So next we're going to be using flour. So the flour can go onto the tray. We're going to pour that on. There we go. And the flour is really good for mark making. So let's move the butter that way. So if I come around here, see if you can see. Can you see the flour there? So mark making means we're going to put our fingers in it. We're going to make marks. This is a really early writing skill. So just going to create patterns, pat it down, make some more marks. Okay. And then we realised earlier, in the first video, that actually our cookies were really dry. So we added some milk. When you add milk to the flour, you get a really lovely paste. So we talked about the fact that the milk is cold, it's wet. They pour it onto their hands, they can feel how cold and wet that is. Maybe they can use their talkers to describe it being cold and wet. Maybe they're showing that they don't like it. Maybe they're screwing up their face and you can say, oh, you don't like that. Or maybe they do like it. But anyway, so we're going to mix it in with our flour. So I'm mixing. We're going to give it a really good, we'll get a really good paste. That feels lovely. So that is a lovely texture to explore. We also said earlier about using some different spices. So more choice making, let them smell the two spices. Which one do they like, which one do they not like? Are they showing you in their face that they like it or don't like it? Are they reaching for it? Maybe they're pushing it away, maybe they really don't like it. So I used ginger earlier, so I'm going to put some more ginger on my flour and milk paste, just to give it that extra bit, extra sensory experience. Obviously you could use whichever one your child has chosen. So this is now a really sticky paste that smells amazing. So as I said earlier, cooking is all about the experience, it's all about the method. The end result is just a happy accident, really. So there we go. I think that's all we covered, and I've managed to do it in half the time I did earlier. Okay, so hope you have fun with your cooking, and I will see you soon. Bye!